About a week and a half ago, I was talking about Deadlock and more specifically how I really liked how they were, leaving up the character release schedule to a vote of the fans. I thought that was something that was really neat and really awesome and something that I liked. And another thing that I didn't really mention in that video though was that there was one character specifically that I was not voting for, but I was intrigued to see what would happen when he came out, just to see if there would be any people being really annoying and stupid about it. And today that character came out. And I'm talking about Venator. Now the reason why I wanted to see what the reaction would be to when he came out or how people acted is because he is a priest and he has a lot of like religious imagery on him. You see the crosses, you see the candle with the Mary on it. He's got the priest garb on and everything like that. I think he even got like a cross-shaped crossbow on his back, and he's like kind of a vampire hunter, vampire hunter or a wolf hunter or werewolf hunter. And the reason being is I wanted to see if people would be normal about it. So at 4 p.m. when the character was announced, I opened up the Deadlock Discord, which I'm in because I like seeing updates and just kind of like seeing how the community's reacting to stuff. And within 15 seconds, maybe, and that'd be a generous over exaggeration of how long I was in there, I saw people arguing over Venator. And unsurprisingly, there were two sides to this argument. One side was people saying, hey, this is really awesome and really based and really cool and anti-woke, and we love it that the priest is now bringing the Catholic vibe to the game to get rid of all these heathens who are gay and all that tomfoolery. And then the other side was people saying, hey, religion is an inherently hateful thing. We don't like it in our game. And now I'm not going to really fence it here, but it's going to sound like I am until I explain myself. So part of my fence sitting, but both sides are obviously in the issue. Now, I think the people who are angry at this guy getting released are kind of just cringe because just instantly seeing something that's like religious themed and getting mad at it is kind of just annoying. I feel like it's kind of an overreaction to just get mad at something that has like Catholic imagery in it. But obviously, the people who are worse in this scenario are those who are just popping champagne and getting really excited at this guy being released, not because of any gameplay or mechanics or anything like that, simply just due to the aesthetics of the way he looks. They're just kind of being weird about it, saying like, "Yeah, get fucked, idiots. We got Catholicism in our Deadlock game. Silver mentions Jesus. That means he was in the game too, and he's gonna mow down all the gays in the game and stuff like that." I'm not surprised in any capacity that this was discourse going on around the Discord. I'm not surprised in any way that people got mad about this. But I do want to say, like, even though once again I have said that it is annoying that people are mad at this simply because it has religious imagery in it, I think it's objectively worse that people are getting overly excited in such a weird way about this. And it's something weird that I noticed about the Deadlock Discord. Now I'm not saying not in any capacity am I saying that this is a representation of the entire Deadlock community, because I understand that there's a lot of queer people who play this game. I understand that. I know. I've seen the Discord. I've seen how people vote. I've seen how people act. I've seen how people present themselves. I'm aware of this. But at the same time, it is a Valve entity. The company that kind of runs CSGO and I was going to say TF2, but half of TF2. Because once again, this game, TF2 kind of has a similar community vibe as this one. Where there is, for some reason, a large amount of weirdos and losers in the Discord who argue about like very terrible things and like push for really stupid ideas. People were talking about how it was like or people were like talking about how characters may be gay or lesbian or trans or non-binary, and there's people in the Discord who I've see some recurring characters. I'm not going to put them up on the public square because like they're a loser and I don't want to give them any more attention. But there are people who do the classic comment of saying, well, I don't understand why we need any of this gay stuff. I don't know why we need people to be gay or trans or any of the tomfoolery. I don't know why we need that in my game, And it was kind of going back to the thing I talked about yesterday, where people like say, or just use the idea of gaming being their safe space to push down on minorities in any way that they feel like it's the most acceptable way to do it. It's like, oh, we need to keep games apolitical. We need to keep games safe from all this outside hoopla. When at the same time, gay people and trans people do the same thing. And so not only are you playing a game where there's a lot of people in that community there, you're also being a loser because you're trying to, say that stuff is irrelevant, even though it really doesn't matter. And so the fact that like kind of there's people in the Deadlock Discord server who bitch and moan about these like completely irrelevant and just arbitrary facts, but well, not arbitrary, but they don't matter in the sense of like the character or the gameplay or the design. It's just something good to have. It's world building. It's inclusivity. And then they immediately turn around and say, hey, this Venator guy being a Catholic priest is one of the coolest things of all time. He's so fucking awesome and cool in alpha, and he makes me want to be like him whenever I grow up. Or I want to mow down every minority I see. Even though, the Venator probably does not think that, if I had to suppose a guess here. about the develop what I know about Deadlock and the developers of Deadlock, I presume he's not going to share the same world beliefs as these people who are popping champagne at his release. And so, as someone who believes in resolving conflict through consensus, but at the same time understanding that we need to, have actually effective and good change that's not going to just come at the expense of people. I think the number one way that Deadlock can solve this and cease any sort of disagreement about this character at all is make Venator gay. You have to make Venator gay. I feel like it just stops all the evilness and disagreement, because it then gets the people who are angry that he's a Catholic. They're fine with it because he's gay, and that's like kind of just it subverts the idea of Catholicism and like makes it so that's more inclusive, and it backs off of the annoying people who are like just using Venator to be absolutely assholes to minorities by him being gay, and so they either have to like a gay guy or they just shut the fuck up and stop talking. And I feel like that's probably the most equitable solution to everyone at all, because not only are people happy that Venator's gay, it backs people off of the community who are just absolute losers, and it takes away the only like semblance of possibility that they have about the game being like anti woke or whatever by making Priest gay. And so Deadlock developers, I know Yoshi's a big one. Yoshi's the fan favorite. Hear me, hear my cry. Make Venator gay, and every single sort of controversy around this character will be done. I know what you're wondering. Well, making him gay, wouldn't that be causing the people who are anti woke to get mad at the game and start controversy? Well, no, because the best way you can handle with these people online and in the Deadlock Discord server and around the communities is ignore them, because their opinions are not worth your time. So, once again, consensus of the story is Venator being a priest will not matter if he's gay. I think we got to make him do that. I think we got to get on that. I don't know if we need to start like a change.org petition, or we just like chain reaction this shit up to the developers of, or we change the shit up to Valve and the developers of Deadlock and be like, hey, I have an idea for you. Now, once again, I don't even know the lore of this. I know they all have lores. I should probably have checked Venator's lore before I said this. Maybe he already is gay. But if it's not fleshed out, if we don't really know who he's into, this is the most equitable and effective solution I think we've ever had in our lives. And it's just simply a single sentence of just on the wiki or on like the hell they keep the lore of the people. Venator likes men, and then boom, saved. Crisis averted in any way, in all capacity. But I don't know if anyone else like kind of notices controversy or like is tapped into this. And it's not really even a controversy. It's more just like a little scuffle between people who will never come to a middle ground agreement unless we do my solution, of course. But yeah, I feel like it was worth commentating on just because of how big Deadlock is getting and how annoying people can get about their games that they play. That's all I got for today. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.